This is David from the Fredcast. We're at PRESSCAMP, and we're in the CycleOps suite. I'm with Jesse. Jesse has their latest power tap innovation. Jesse, this is the G3. Tell us what's different about this product.
The two main things about this product that are different are the weight, number one, and the overall size, and I guess the stiffness would be a third thing. So it's about 80 grams lighter. It comes in at about 325 grams versus 415 for the previous model. And as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller than previous power taps, which makes it look that much more like a normal hub. And the flanges are also a bit wider, which builds up into a much stiffer wheel overall.
And price point on this new product?
This will be about $1,300 for the hub, and should be available later this fall.
Okay, great. And I've also noticed that you've got the Power Tap Pro as well, and this really looks sort of unique for a power tap. What's different about this?
This one's actually based largely on the same technology that power tap always has been based on. It received an aesthetic update, so it's got a black finish to it versus the silver, which we've used in the past. And it did get a little bit of a weight reduction, about 20 grams lighter. So this will be retailing for $7.99, which represents a significant shift in our pricing. So much more available to consumers than ever before, and should be available again this fall.
Okay. And I see also you've got some wheel sets here.
Yeah.
Take us through those and a little bit about the price point and who they're for. Who are they aimed at?
Right. So every power tap hub actually has to get built into a wheel, obviously,
Sure.
for you to use it. And so we've taken that approach here and just made it that much easier for people to do just that. Starting out with the Power Tap Pro alloy wheel set. This is a very basic, very durable training wheel set. Day in, day out use. Very affordable at $9.99 for the complete wheel set.
$9.99 for both wheels and the power tap.
Correct.
Built up.
Which is pretty compelling because
Yeah.
it's hard to get a normal training wheel set with
Absolutely.
with $1,000.
Yeah.
So, and then from there we go on to some carbon options using the G3 hub. That will be available in an alloy option as well. But the nice thing about the carbon is that we get some wheel sets that come in at weights that are actually lighter than carbon wheel sets without a power meter. So we're talking about a 1,250 gram wheel set with a power tap.
And has weight been a question for some athletes, and that's the reason why you've gone in this direction?
Always. I mean, cycling is always about weight at some point, and so we're trying to go faster, and weight is a detriment to that. So if we can shave a few grams here and there, we're all about it. So
Absolutely. Now, the data that you're getting from all of your power tap products, you've had the Joule 2.0 out for a while, and now you've got a new version of the Joule. Tell us about that.
So we've actually got two new versions.
Okay.
We're dropping the Joule 2.0 completely from the line, replacing it with Joule, which is essentially the same functionality. So all the great historical data that you would come to expect from using Joule to figure out kind of what you've done in the past and maybe what you need to do in the future in a much smaller, less expensive package. Yeah. So this is the Joule. And we'll have a different version that will be the Joule GPS, which will just add GPS to the mix and allow people to view location-based data after the ride via our software and our website.
So still collecting all the same historical data. I can look back at rides I did weeks and months ago.
Yeah.
But now adding GPS. And what about price point on these and availability as well?
So Joule is going to be available a little bit later than the G3 and the other hub. Looking at November of this year, possibly into December, depending on how our testing goes.
Okay.
But price point on the Joule will be $179, and the Joule GPS will be $279.
So $279 and plus compatible with GPS. Where can I then view that data? Can I use the standard Power Agent software? Am I putting it onto Training Peaks? What can I do with the data?
You can certainly do any of those two things, like you always have been able to with our computers, but we're introducing a new website called Training Camp. And Training Camp is a share and compare type website where you can take data from Power Agent or Training Peaks and put it on Training Camp and view your own data, but more importantly, view it relative to others. And those others could be professional athletes that we work with that are using Training Camp, or others like you. So if you want to know how you stack up relative to someone that's your age, your gender, your ability level, you can actually see all of their data aggregated in a nice, usable, presentable format.
So if you've got a friend in another city or maybe even another country and you want to compete against them,
Exactly.
go on to training camp.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And is training camp available now?
Training camp is live now. You
Okay.
can log in and it's free, and definitely check that out.
Okay. Now you've got something over here which is very intriguing to me,
Yeah.
which I'm going to grab, which to me looks like a conventional heart rate monitor. But
Right.
there's a bit more going on here. Explain that.
There's a bit more going on. So for a number of years, we have recognized that there's this relationship between power output and heart rate, and that's the reason we include a heart rate strap in every single power tap that we sell. But there's a more to it than that, in that there's a relationship between power and heart rate that's existed for a long time. In the laboratory especially, if you do a graded exercise test, you can easily correlate an individual's heart rate to their power output and vice versa. Outdoors, it gets a little more complicated. There's more variables, and the relationship gets a little more difficult to manage or see some trends. Through our expertise and work with some various experts like Alan Lim and the University of Colorado at Boulder, we've been trying to find a correlation out in the real world. And we think we've done that. And the way it works is we know a given heart rate, and we can then correlate that to a power output based on the same exact test that you might do for VO2 max or any graded exercise test. And we actually input that known unique calibration for an individual into this strap, and that strap then can broadcast power output just like any other power meter. And so it's not as accurate as a power tap, but for individuals that aren't ready to take the full plunge into a $1,000 power meter option, this is a perfect solution.
So the user is just wearing the strap,
Right.
and it's transmitting as if it was a power tap hub.
Exactly. Yeah.
So any ANT Plus compatible computer, the Joule GPS, would be able to read that as if it was a power tap.
Exactly.
How do you correlate each individual's heart rate to their power output?
So we need to do a simple 20-minute test, and we have got a number of power test centers and dealers across the country and in Europe for that matter that are set up already as dealers and have power tap demos available. And so the idea would be that you would simply use one of those power taps, perform the test either in the shop or at home, and we'll provide some information on exactly how to do that. In fact, we have a video on our website already how to perform a power test. And you would then download that data into our software and send it over to the strap, and from that point forward all you need is the PowerCal strap, not the entire power meter.
So, as compared to, as you said, some of the price points that we talked about with the power tap, where are we at here, and what about availability?
We're not quite ready to state exact accuracy just yet, but we're working with the University of Colorado at Boulder to help us determine where exactly this thing's going to end up relative to a power tap.
What about price?
And price will be about $199 for the strap and a USB stick to communicate with it for the calibration.
Okay, and
And
availability on that?
We're hoping fall, depending on the research again. So
Faster, would you please? I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to be interested in
We're
this.
trying.
Great. Where can people get more information on any of the products that we talked about today?
definitely our website, CycleOps.com, or local bike shop.
That's great, Jesse. Thanks so much for your
Yep,
time.
thank you.
And thank you for joining us from PRESSCAMP.